episode 10 of
Episode
Reality
10.
Riffs
Woo.
Podcast. Oh! That means it's Vanderpump Rules, season 11, episode 10. And you know what? I am trying to get excited because I'm really not excited to cover this playground argument of an episode. But what I am happy about is I think they're getting it all out in this 1 hour. Fingers crossed. But I just felt like it was such
I don't know. I don't know.
But like, okay, so it's called Line in the Sand, and I have an alternate title. Move on and move out. Because you're always talking about different arcs, and I'm like, this is the theme.
Yeah.
That and Poor Anne, because I watched the Peacock extended version, and it's so much better. It's like 15 minutes more, and it's stuff that should not be necessarily cut out. It's interesting. But anyway, it says, Lala hosts a water tasting event. Schwartz confronts Katie for her recent hookup. Anyway, what were we talking about? The playground argument. Yeah. What's your you're talking about art, and now I am too. Arcs.
I don't.
This one was obvious.
Well, no, but I don't think that there was any sort of getting it all out. There was no getting it. If it showed us anything, I think it showed us just how. Which, in all fairness, like I said, I would not be in this situation.
Never.
If I was Ariana, I would never even be within 20 fucking miles of Tom Sandoval did.
Well, see, the thing is, I've been saying every week, I understand why they live together, and then I give reasons. But the 2 times they're put together, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, my ex-husband and I can't really say because he stayed 4 days after I seriously asked for a divorce. I mean, and we got along. That was the best we got along since our honeymoon. Because we knew we were going to miss each other for better or for worse. It was probably going to be the last time we saw each other outside of court. And we just were really nice to each other, and it was great. But too bad our whole relationship. But anyway, but I could see it would have got petty real fast if we would have stayed.
Well, I mean, I think that there is because I know you say it all the time, right? Like, that's just how these people are. They've all cheated on each other, and they're a very incestuous group. But I don't think, I think Tom and Ariana's relationship was probably a more mature relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they were kind of a brand.
Yeah.
Almost. It was Tom and Ariana.
Yeah, and so there's...
It wasn't just Tom or Ariana. It was Tom and Ariana.
And, and there's serious hurt there. And there's not the party and the drugs and the alcohol to make it all just kind of wash away the way that they've always kind of done on that show.
Oh, that was one of my notes during the water tasting when they start fighting and stuff like that. One of my notes was, could you imagine if this was wine instead of water? How heated,
oh yeah,
it didn't take much to get these kids wound up back in the day. No. They all fought this way, so it wasn't quite as awkward. Okay, but anyway, we should get into it a little bit.
All right.
Unless there's anything else you have to talk about, pop culture, regular culture, anything important to know about. No?
Not that I can think of.
You've been watching Trump stuff.
Well, I mean...
Is anything else happening?
No, the question right now is whether or not he's going to get thrown in jail for violating a gag order. Because he's talking shit about the judge's daughter. He can't talk shit about the judge, right? So he's going after the family members.
Oh, man. Well, at least he didn't sell any government secrets or anything weird like that. Okay.
I'm starting to think maybe not, because if he did, he'd be able to afford all his fucking, money he owes for tax evasion and raping people.
Anyway, we start with a bunch of B-roll, and we kind of...
What's B-roll? I don't know. You're going to have to fill me in on your lingo.
I'm pretty sure that's when, just like overhead shots. It's just kind of throw it. You know how we
cut... Your setup?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you know how we cut from this house, they're juicing this house, they're sitting at a table, blah, 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 blah. And
they're all being very normal humans.
Yeah, the footage that doesn't really have anything to do with this story. I'm not sure. I'll look it up, and I will have that for you next week. Stay tuned. Okay, so Lala, Katie, and Allie are working out. Katie isn't having it.
Oh, yeah, because, smoke a joint, man, and just chill out. What?
Yeah, I just but I think producers love trolling Katie. Anytime she says something negative, they have to throw it in there. She's like, who likes working out? And she's like, but...
You don't get endorphins from working out? Where do you get your endorphins from?
Me?
Yeah.
Vanderpump Rules.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, it's basically just a way for Lala to tell everyone that she's having the water tasting, and everyone's invited. Everyone. I like, it's kind of everybody's new code for both Tom and Ariana. Yeah. They'd say everyone is invited. I've noticed a couple times that's happened. But anyway, okay, so we settle into Tom and Ariana's house.
Mm-hmm.
And Anne and Ariana are, okay, so they enter the kitchen, and it's funny because, well, I just think it's funny how Ariana calls Tom her roommate. I don't know why. But anyway, Anne's dressed in her suit like she's going to be interviewing for a job. And it's so funny because she's like, be right back, or BRB. And then she goes and checks on her boss that she actually has, Tom Sandoval.
Yeah, is that like a setup, man? That just seems like a weird thing to do if you're a professional.
No, I think, honestly, I think it could maybe be producer intervention, but I also think, after watching the extended version and listening to last week's podcast with Anne, I really do think Anne wants to work for Ariana. Not because she hates Tom or anything necessarily, because you don't really hear her complain about Tom too much. It's just she really loves Ariana.
Yeah.
And so, but it is
you're probably just looking, going like, well, if I work for this person, I got to do this kind of shit work. And if I work for this person, it's probably a little less shit work. I already have both their numbers.
It would be so awkward if she went to work for Ariana while Ariana was still working or living in the same house as Tom. Because she'd have to go to the same house.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be so weird. But yeah, she comes down, and like during the interview, she talks about having to pick up his undies, and in the confessional, Ariana's like, change your undies, bro. But let's see. But anyway, Tom was listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much
Out.
for the white noise machine, right?
Well, yeah,
What's
but
good?
like I think he was outside of his room
Oh yeah,
and he overheard it.
but
And
he was snooping. He was, you know, he
ah,
was.
but can you blame him? Would you have you hear your name and you see your assistant kind of interviewing for a job with your ex? Like you're I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I'm gonna be listening a little, just to
Well,
see, are they listening? And I think he has a right to be a little pissed.
oh
I
no,
mean,
he totally has a right to be pissed. I'm not saying that he's not wrong. That's what I mean. Like the whole situation is weird. Like, and
like,
I guess I need to see the extended version because.
well, no, that it's still kind of the same with that, because I would think if it were a true interview, it'd be more appropriate to do it like a coffee shop or in Ariana's
Well, yeah, like they
room.
did that on purpose, right? Like there was a reason why they weren't being.
Because that was in a wide open spot.
Mm,
He could see from looking downstairs and
yeah,
hear.
so I mean, yeah, they didn't do it with they knew had every expectation that Tom was going to be listening in on that conversation.
Yeah. So, um, but next we have Tom, and he brought a plant to Sheena and
Mm,
Brock and a cute little hat for summer. And he's talking about how he wants to be a dad. And I think he would be a good dad, but he needs to start. Like,
well,
and he even said that. And I think he and Joe would be so cute. And oh my god, did you notice he and Katie this episode? They were so flirty.
mm-hmm.
It was cute. I never saw them flirt before. This is They might get back together. That would be kind of
Well,
fun.
and I think that's one of the things I did kind of notice, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
It was just these little moments.
But I think
And
that
they
you could definitely see. I think part of the reason why maybe Schwartz isn't all in with Joe is that he still is in love with Katie.
Oh, I think so.
And I think he does hope that she'll one day take him back.
Yeah. Cuz it I'm not saying Katie's a bad person for asking for the divorce, but she was the one asking for the divorce. And I mean, rightfully so. He's so much nicer to her now than when they were married. It's weird. But I think you just start taking people for granted sometimes, I suppose. I don't, but no, he never took her side, nothing. Yeah, I don't know, but I like their new relationship. It's kind of fun. It's fun to watch them get along. Even when they're fighting, they're at least being kind of jokey about it. It's cute. Okay.
Okay.
So then we got Katie and Ariana at Katie's. And Ariana talks about Anne and how she was crying
Mm.
before Ariana left the house. Anne was down in the kitchen crying because Tom yelled at her about what he heard while eavesdropping.
Well, yeah, and then didn't he send her home or fire her?
Well, I don't know yet. But Katie brings up how it's an invasion of privacy, and that leads into how she felt like it's also an invasion of privacy for Sheena to
Mm.
be to be blowing up her spot with Max because she was checking the locations. That's why I don't think it was a revenge bang, because Katie didn't say anything. Max didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they both would have taken it to the grave. They were both just getting it out. Like, whatever. They're young, consenting adults that.
Yeah, they're allowed to do what they want.
But even they think it's weird that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting too, because I think when I think about what gets my endorphins really going, part of that is making teenagers understand the panoptic method of control, and having them walk outside my classroom a hell of a lot more paranoid than when they walked in it. And,
how do you mean?
well, just talking about the actual sort of practical, like sort of like the practical results of constant surveillance, right? And how that impinges on our freedoms. And so now, even worse than 1984, because in 1984 all you had to worry about was the government fucking spying on you. Now in this dystopia that we live in, you got to worry about your fucking friends narking you off for going off and getting a piece of ass.
I know, like, it's so weird. I've never shared my location with anyone, and I turn it off on everything else. Not because, like, I'm trying to. Well, you know where I am at any time of day.
Well, you know where I am, but if you want my location, you're more than welcome to have it.
Well, if I need your location, I'll call you up and say, where are you at? But anyway, okay, so, yeah, and because last week you were like, well, it's LA, they probably all share, but I knew it was weird, because they're all talking about how fucking weird it is, and because I know if I shared my location with somebody, it would be maybe like a one-time thing. We want to make sure we're getting home, each other gets home safe. And then I probably wouldn't think about it again. And I probably would never check that person's location unless we had another night like that and we're like, hey, let's share each other. And we already are. That's me. That's my dumbass. I'm not, but I don't stalk my friends.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, I don't know if it's like a constant thing or not, but just if I did have somebody's location, like I said, I'm going to play devil's advocate for Sheena like you did with Tom, right? Mm-hmm. If I do have somebody's location, not that I want it, but if I do, and I see them kind of getting flirty and frisky with someone at the bar that might be a little scandalous, and all of a sudden they disappear, and I have access to know the dirt.
But that isn't even what she was saying. I don't think.
Well, I mean, she was saying she doesn't check people's locations all the time, but she just has.
She's Sheena. She also said she doesn't check social media all day with Lala. Remember when Lala's like, and Lala's like, you're checking social media. She's like, just the stuff that has my name in it or whatever. And she's like, and Lala just looks at her like I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, I have
yeah, but you would.
What?
You would check everything that had your name in it.
Oh yeah. But I wouldn't deny it. Like she was saying, I don't check everything. I mean, I would fully be like, I'm having a mental breakdown because people are being really mean to me on social media and I can't stop looking at it. Take my phone. Just delete my apps because I don't remember a goddamn password to save my life. Anyway, for some reason, and I know you don't have any notes, but maybe you'll remember, it says Brock and Sheena, they talk about hypocrisy. And then I have Katie and Ariana get a message about water. But that's it.
Hypocrisy. It's not when he was talking
this
about...
whole episode is hypocrisy, man.
Well, is that when he was talking about he needs to get a nanny so he can start thinking about what he wants to do with his
later.
life?
That's later. I got...
Okay, so this is with Tom. So I think they were just kind of talking about... they're talking about Katie, her shit don't stink. Well, now, right, because that's what Tom gets all excited about, is at least now he feels like, he fucked up, he did something wrong, he's on the outs, and he deserves to kind of, and now Katie's even the score, right? And so I think it's really liberating for Tom.
Okay, but
what?
Now we get into the main event.
Okay. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so we're at James and Allie's house because they're hosting Martin, the Harry Potter of waters, apparently. The water guy. I'm like...
I know.
But I'm more like James, because in the confessional he's like, I don't specialize in sparkling water like Lala. I'm more of a Red Bull, Diet Coke kind of guy. And I'm like, yes, I am totally more of a caffeine gal. So
yeah, see, I totally relate with Katie on this. It's fucking water.
I know. And like, I know differences between flat water, and I know which ones I like, or I guess still water you'd call it. But as far as sparkling goes, I only know it mixed with vodka. So like, if the vodka's good, I'm gonna like whatever sparkling water you got in there.
Well, like I was telling you, I think there was, when I was in college, I remember I was in this creative writing workshop, and this kid had taken a trip over spring break or something over to Washington, and he went to some lithium springs, went and filled up a bunch of jugs and was passing it around. We're drinking lithium water, sitting around in this writing workshop, and it tasted like poo. It tasted like kind of like swamp water, fuzzy swamp water, but I don't
like
think
sulfur.
Yeah,
like a hot pool, sort of.
Or I mean, it wasn't hot, but I mean,
no. But is that where he got it?
I thought
he just.
I mean, that was back in the days. If anybody was like, "Here, try this,"
but like,
try it.
Had it been distilled or did you guys drink it straight out of the...
I have no clue. This dude could have got it out of the goddamn toilet and brought it to class for all I fucking know. Like,
yum.
But
did you get any lithium effects?
I don't even know what lithium effects are supposed to be, so I'm thinking not. But maybe I didn't drink enough of it. I might have to drink that whole freaking gallon of piss water. But anyways, it's just water.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like $1,000 for a bottle of water. That is so fucking ridiculous. It's so pretentious and it's so ridiculous. If I were there, I would have tasted it. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, how delicious can your water be? When we lived in the mountains, that shit was the bomb.com.
Yeah, and that came right out of the goddamn tap.
I know.
Well, and that's
the only place I'd ever drink out of the tap.
That's the thing. It's that kind of shit that makes Montanans afraid of Californians moving here, right? It's like,
I'm not afraid of Californians.
We're cool.
I have friends that are from California that are cool.
Okay, but there's not a stereotype of Montanans that have harsh views on Californians. You're not aware of these people?
Yeah, but I didn't know you were one of them.
Well, I'm starting to become one. I mean, I'm cool with some shit. I'm not cool with pretentious fucking water gatherings. Well, you can keep that shit in LA.
Yeah, well,
Because you can go to your tap and get $1,000 fucking water.
you know what I think? I think now that more than half the cast is sober this season,
Mm-hmm.
they have to come up with something to do to get them all together. Because it used to be, let's go have drinks, let's go party, let's go da da da. But now they gotta sample water. And yeah, I'm with you and Katie. It's just water. But pizza's here.
All right.
Tom Sandoval runs out because they're like, did you make sure they got ranch? And there wasn't ranch. And then Tom Sandoval runs out to stop the guy to get ranch. And that starts World War III. It triggers Ariana. Like, why he's trying too hard. Why is he being so nice? I'm just like, dude, like, I'm not a Sandoval stan at all, but that's what Sandoval does. Sandoval's always been that guy. Before the scandal, he would have been the one to run out to grab the ranch.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty clear, and from Ariana's perspective too, like, he's trying too hard, and he's not doing it to be nice. He's not doing it for anybody's benefit, and anything that he's doing to try to make inroads with Ariana has everything to do with the offer he made on the house and nothing to do with her feelings.
But the ranch wasn't for Ariana. And when he used to do those gestures,
mm-hmm.
it never bothered her before. And I'm just pointing out how these little tiny things, like, oh, I'll run out and get it. Oh my gosh. She was like, why is he being so nice? He's trying to, and it was just like, whoa. But apparently T told Tom about what Ariana asked her, and Tom wasn't too happy about that. Remember when she was asked, and he's like, that was inappropriate. But anyway,
and they're still together, right?
No, he's with I think her name is Victoria something, or I don't know. I'll have to look it up again. But while Tom's getting ranch, Ariana's telling everyone about the Anne situation, and in the extended version, Anne gets a confessional, and she's so cute in her confessional.
What'd she say?
She said she went to Ariana's room and knocked on the door and told her she thought she was getting fired, and Ariana took her by the shoulders and told her it's going to be okay, and whether she gets hired by her or maybe even Katie needing help at this, she's going to be okay.
Were you about the sandwich shop?
Mm-hmm. We'll get there. But anyway,
she's probably now pass on a job on the sandwich shop. Thanks.
But as she as Ariana's telling the group about Anne, like in the, and then Ariana, or not Ariana, but Lala, she asks the $1 million question, which was, without Anne, who's going to be the middleman?
Yeah.
Then Ariana says, he can talk to my lawyer, in which, again, Lala is me and says, you're going to have your lawyer deal with every time you want to use the, I don't know what it was, an equipment in the gym. And she's like, well, actually, that is mine. Like, oh my God, these
Yeah,
guys.
so she's not thinking rationally at all.
Oh my God. And so, like, I don't know. But anyway, Katie and Tom, they're out. Katie and, what'd you say? Twizzler? Because that's what I have written down. Katie and Twizzler.
Shiz.
Oh.
Katie and Shiz.
Katie and Shiz are outside while this little thing is going on, and they touch on Max, the whole Max thing, and all the while I'm thinking Tom looks like Buddy the Elf in his shirt. Did you notice? Like, he looks like a Santa's helper. But and everyone's a hypocrite. Tom kissed Rachel. Katie fucked Max. They are all fuck ups. That's when he was in his confessional. Katie's a fuck up. It feels so good to say that. And I'm like,
yeah.
But you guys weren't married. You were fucking up while you guys were married. Just stop, Tom.
Yeah, but I think, but still though, in some ways, it feels like Tom is really happy that this happened.
Oh yeah, because it's like, because in one
he's
of
just
the,
giddy about it. He's just like,
I can't remember which one said it because it was way back in season 1 or 2. It might have even been Jax. And he's like, or one of, I don't remember which one said, but he's like, I wish she would have fucked one of my friends or somebody else. Then at least we could be even. So now maybe he feels like they're even. And so, like, she doesn't have a leg to stand on with Joe even. She can stop harassing Joe. I don't know. Good point. No, but then we're back inside where Brock the shitster asks about Anne, and Ariana calls Tom the attempted dog murder loud enough for him to hear, and then Brock starts stirring again and asks who's the dog murderer, and Tom says me. And God, don't get me wrong, there are times when I want to strangle this man, but I have to take his side in a couple places, and here's one of them. And I feel like when you have a dog, even if you think you have your door closed, you can't leave anything out because they will get to it. And I don't think Tom was expecting to have to go into her.
Yeah, he didn't know that shit was in there.
Yeah.
But
because, like,
but the locking the dog in there, though, is what I don't understand. Why did he lock the dog in there? She said he locked the dog in there for hours. For
4 hours or something like that, or
I don't know exactly how many, just hours. For a long time.
Well, you know how it goes sometimes when they're shadowing you and you close a door. Sometimes they get left in.
Oh yeah, the cats get locked in shit all the time.
Oh, Bud used to get all the time. I was just like, if I couldn't find him, I was like, what rooms were we in together? And then I would just start opening, because I'm one of those people that like to close all the doors. But I mean, she's just, I think she needs to take a little bit of accountability. That's all I'm saying. And because so like I said, I like to close every door, but I still have to take into consideration everything. Pills, food, electronics, nothing is safe. But then they start fighting about the litter box. About how...
Or who cleans the litter box.
Yeah, and Tom says...
I clean the litter box in our house all the time.
Well, you do. Thank you, honey. But
You're
that's...
welcome.
I
I
don't...
love you.
I don't want cats, yeah. But, and Ariana just starts yelling at that point because he was, I think he was saying that he looks, but like, and her lawyer will respond because about her dream house and her children.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just starts, I mean, I don't know if maybe she should have taken a year break or what, but she's snapping because she just starts yelling, "Get the fuck away from me! Get the fuck away from me! Get the fuck away from me!" Like so many times. And then she says, "Never look at me in the eye again." And Tom says, "Never look at me in the eye again." And he leaves, and the oxygen is completely sucked out of the room at this point. I don't know if anybody can breathe because I can't. Well, it feels pretty fucking heavy.
Well, I mean, of course, it's, gonna be heavy. I mean, shit, they can't even text each other to avoid each other inside their own home, right? Like obviously Ariana's got a lot of shit that she needs to just let out that she hasn't really had an opportunity to, but that I don't think and like I said, in most normal circumstances, you get to process that on your own.
Exactly.
Like you get to process that with your friends and new relationships, and you get to drink and fucking just
cameras, nobody judging you.
But here, like I said, I couldn't imagine being.
And now all these friends are pushing them to get, because everyone's invited. Everyone.
Yeah. Well, and probably because they're contractually obligated to actually be in the same fucking place together. And it's...
Right.
And it's like most people, don't have to look at their ex. I mean, I don't know, I guess most people. I never have, and I deliberately jumped in a fucking airplane and flew across the ocean to get away from mine.
Well, yeah, and also, and I don't know how many friends they have outside of their Vanderpump Rules friend group, because I do know that they are truly friends in real life. But they also have that. Like, if they want to keep their friends, they gotta stay in the same circle. But it was funny because there was some unexpected comic relief again with Tom and Katie. Tom Schwartz and Katie. And he's kind of like, I forget, or I don't remember what he said. She goes, "I won't fuck any more of your friends." It was just so funny. And then they go inside, and
they're just like, what the
Ariana tells the group what Tom did with the dog again, and she's being super immature, and I'm like, thank you, Lala. Because
Lala's the one that points out that
in her confessional,
clean up your shit, man. That's gross.
You did an ad for a trash bag commercial. Throw away your trash. God. But I mean, that's just, and it is unfortunate what happened to her, because God, they had to go in and take those slivers out of poor Maya. Cost be damned. The poor dog. Like, my heart goes out to her. But, cost be damned. I don't know if we'd even have the $6,000 to
that's the thing.
keep our dog alive.
We'd be like, sorry, Chip.
Yeah.
It was a good run, man. Should have kept your nose out of the damn trash. But I do. I understand being so depressed you just can't even fucking get up to throw shit away. You know?
Right.
You know,
Right.
and just being like.
And I don't know if this part was on the extended version. You tell me, but like the two Toms are outside, and or no, maybe Tom Schwartz goes outside and he FaceTimes with Tom.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that's the rage yeah, that's why I could never live with.
Yeah, this is what it was like, our whole relationship.
Yeah, our whole relationship. And I don't know if that's true.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. Nobody's rational. You know, neither one of them are actually rational. They're not like, you know, what they're feeling right now is like happening forever. You know, it's always been this way. Like, obviously not. Of course not. They wouldn't have been together for 9 years.
But like, Tom went inside and Ariana's still going on. Like, she is pissed. And she looks at Tom and she's like, I'm re-mad at you, or whatever she said. Like, and Tom's
like, I'm leaving.
I know. And like, I mean, it would be kind of annoying that, but like, everyone keeps telling her to move on and move out, basically. And then in another cute comic relief flirty moment, Twizzler tells Katie to call him. It's so cute. He's like, call me.
Well, that's what I think was interesting about that scene, though, is because those two were outside and Schwartz actually was like, are they fighting in there? Like they knew what was going on, but they were still just kind of like.
Well, even when Katie went out there, it was strange. It was like, it's almost like they're not even trying, like, production is not even trying to hide the fact that, okay, these are scenes.
Yeah.
Because there was no reason for her to go out.
Oh, no, she said that. She's like, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know why I'm out here.
I know that she must have been stoned or something. And then for some reason she was back out. But I got a kick out of those two. I thought they were cute.
It was a nice scene. It does make you kind of feel like, yeah, it'd be nice to see those two.
But after that, that's when I wrote down, I was like, could you imagine if they were wine tasting instead of water tasting? Like, God, that was sober fighting.
Yeah, but even the few bar scenes that they've had don't seem to have been quite as wild as they used to be back in the day.
Honestly, I don't know that
but
I've ever yelled at anyone like that. Not even an ex.
Of course, you know, if
I don't think you and I have ever yelled at each other like that. I mean, we've gotten snippy and snappy, but not like.
Well, like I said, if I'm at a point where if I'm going to say something, I'm going to yell it, then I try, and I don't always, but I try to just walk away and shut the fuck up until I'm calm. Because I know, like I said, I know that if I'm angry, I'm going to say something I don't mean, or I'm going to say something in the wrong way.
Yeah, but you must have, I don't know, been taught how to fight fair. Because I was, well, because I've never been very strong physically. Even when I was younger and probably at my strongest, my sister could kick my ass because she towers over me. And so, like, but she could never beat me in a war of words. I had to learn how to be cutthroat with my words because that was the. But then in the end, that just makes the physically strong people want to kick your ass more. I learned that awfully quick too. I never got my ass kicked, but close enough.
See, and that's the thing. Like,
Nobody's gonna hit a girl in a wheelchair.
I-
They're gonna hit my friends though. So
I don't want to be right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't need to be. Yeah.
I don't need to be right. Like, I don't want to fight in order to be right. Like, if there's a conflict, I don't want to win it. I want to understand it and figure out how to resolve it.
Ugh,
you know, and if I'm reacting out of anger, I know that I'm just going to dig a fucking hole. You know, I do all the time. Like, I mean, you know me better than anybody. You know what kind of asshole I can be.
Oh, everyone can be an asshole. I think that...
I'm just trying to be like, if I can be an asshole, if I can be like decent 75% of the time and only an asshole 25% of the time, I'm going to say that's a win for this life. I'm not trying to be
like
I'm
90,
like
10. So you're definitely doing a great job. Maybe 95, 5. Because you are human.
Yeah.
But,
Zoloft helps too.
So, okay, so we got the two Toms and Kyle Chan. And they want to chill at a bar. And I got distracted. Big surprise. But what exactly is paella? Because I have heard it a lot of times. People order it all the time in my reality shows.
I don't know.
Paella? You never heard of it?
Is it a fruit?
I don't know. I think it's like a rice dish or I don't know. Well, at least I don't.
It's a custard.
No, it's a main dish. It's kind of, you know how it...
Mofongo?
I was going to say mofongo, but it kind of...
Oh, I like some mofongo.
Oh my gosh, you and me both. And I don't know how to spell it because I spelled it P-I-A-I, and that brought me to the Private Investigator Association of Idaho.
Try P-A-Y-A-Y.
P-A-Y-A-Y?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, food dish. Oh yeah, see, you can... This is with shrimps, but doesn't it kind of look like rice?
Oh yeah.
It looks kind of good.
Where's it from? Valencia?
It says Valencian community.
So it's an Italian dish?
Yeah, paella. Okay. No, Spanish.
Spanish dish.
Is a rice dish originally from the Valencian community. Paella is regarded as one of the community's identifying symbols. It's one of the best known dishes in Spanish cuisine. And that is from Wikipedia, folks.
Well,
and that is... What can that really segment called?
Food that you're thinking about eating because it's
How about you learn something new every day?
Okay, well, we learn something new every day.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know, I'm starting to get hungry, I think. That must be why I'm thinking about food.
Okay, but anyway, this scene was so cringy just in this part because Tom wants to go to a singles event, and I quote, and this is Tom Sandoval, I quote, "Maybe in our age range, maybe even a little younger." What a fucking scumbag. Because when he said maybe even a little younger, like his eyes lit up. That was his selling point. I was like, What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Ugh.
I mean, it's, well, I mean,
And Twizzler squirms in his
shiz.
oh, sorry. What did I Twiz? I have Twizzler written.
Okay, well, let's go with Twizzler.
No, what do you call him?
Shiz.
Shiz. Okay.
Because I
But
couldn't
he
write
was
Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval every time in my notes. So I just started putting SHZ.
Well, whatever. I couldn't remember what you said, so I was like Twizzler, and then I think I have T Schwiz somewhere. I don't remember. Okay, so Schwizzler, Schwiz,
Shiz.
Shiz.
But think Snoop Dogg. Shiz.
I know.
For shiz. My niz.
Okay, but did you see how he felt like kind of squirming? He's like, oh. And he says he's fragile. His ex-wife fucked his best friend. That's so funny. I'm fragile. My ex-wife fucked my best friend. That was so funny. But yeah. And then Tom Sandoval says that he and Tom Schwartz have never been single together. And I was like, oh yeah, so what's new? You don't have to hide this anymore, because they were out getting all sorts of women.
Yeah, well, it kind of puts that Thailand trip into a whole different perspective.
Well, they were both single at that part. But yeah, I mean, isn't that where people go to find young women? Isn't there sex trafficking and geeky stuff?
I just imagine it's sort of the place where you go to find whatever the hell you're looking for. That's, it's the freaking dark web. It's the dark web of the world.
Oh, I know. It's so sad. Like, who could even police that? Because honestly, and no offense out there to people who are pro-war or whatever, but like, I would think that you would find out a country was full of all this illegal stuff that was actually hurting people. And nobody wants to wage war against that. Like, nobody wants to wage war against sex trafficking and, like...
No, because those sick fucks need that. That's their outlet, right?
Yeah, I guess. But, like, who does police that? I guess Thailand?
Well, I mean, Thailand's a country. They got a government. They got...
Kind of like in our country, how different states have a different age limit.
Wasn't
like, what's Montana's age of consent? 16? 17?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's pretty low. I don't think it's 18.
Yeah,
like, you can't get sued for statutory rape anymore.
Well, that makes sense, because you got all these old fuckers. I always think about, like, these ranch wives that marry, these old dudes that are like, 15, 20 years older than them.
Yeah. It's weird. Because I think, when I think of people younger than me, they look so much younger than me. It just makes me feel older or something. I don't know. Anyway, Schwartz agrees to singles night because Sandoval thinks it'll help get mojo back. And then he goes ahead and he has to call Katie a hypocrite, and he's being a dick about Katie. This is Tom Sandoval. He can't even let Schwartz enjoy, because Schwartz was saying, yeah, me and Katie had a productive conversation. He can't even let Schwartz enjoy a little bit of friendship with Katie, even now that they're divorced.
Well, and I really feel sorry for Schwartz, because I feel like he can't shake Sandoval on this show. You know what I mean? Like,
then they own a little bit of a bar that has their name on it, and then they own a lot bit of another bar that has their name on it. So they are kind of a package deal.
And then you're sitting there listening to your business partner sitting there going, like I'm young.
Pretty much. Did you notice?
Just being a cringy piece of fucking shit, you know, and just watching your brand fucking dissolve.
Did you notice I had a little bit of a story arc?
Mm-hmm.
I opened up the episode with, all right, all right, all right. Because this scene really got me like, you are such a scumbag piece of shit. Ugh. But anyway.
But see, but the thing about, and the thing that's really just bad is that he's just doubling down on it. He's like, yeah, I'm a scumbag piece of shit. And
I guess
it's not that he thinks he's a scumbag. He thinks everything he does is totally justified, right? But now he's just like, I can do it out in the open. I can be this guy that, you know, I've been in my imagination for, you know, yeah, I don't understand that level of narcissism and just self-importance.
And I don't know if you watched this part or not, but he is such a dick when he talks about Ariana. And I don't care if everything he says is true. For him to say it on camera is such an asshole move. And I don't think everything is true, because he says he does, because I mean, it goes into the Maya thing, like that house would fall apart without me, and how he does everything around the house. And this is another quote, he says, I don't even know how her ass gets wiped. She's so goddamn fucking lazy. And I said, I hate that fucking guy. Ugh.
Well, and that's why it's like I feel sorry. I understand why Ariana's upset, why she's got to be on, you know, in situations with Sandoval. I understand why it would just be cool if everyone wasn't invited. You know what I mean?
Okay. But that just pissed me off when I can't even, okay, so I get done writing down that quote and I'm mad. And then I look up at the screen and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I take a picture. Explain to the audience what you see, because I'm going to tell you right now, this picture looks exactly like 10-year-old Jessie. Maybe even, no, probably 7-year-old Jessie. Whenever I had a res mullet, I'm not sure. But describe what you see. Plastic beads and all.
Okay, yes, I see a middle-aged man with a... What the fuck is that? Purple sweater vest thing without anything underneath of it.
What's on it?
It's got little flowers on it.
Little tulips.
And he's got a little candy raver necklace and his painted fucking fingernails, and
I tried zooming in on that bracelet, but I couldn't tell what it said.
And his Taylor Swift bracelet. He's a fucking Swiftie. It's not though. I think it looks like seashells.
Does that not look like every little girl in your 4th or 5th grade class in the 80s?
Yeah, it looks like Piper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Piper right now.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. But it was really hard to take that man seriously.
Yeah, I don't
That was so funny. You were like gonna describe it, and you start describing the beads, and then you're like, what the fuck is that?
It's something else. If you can post the pictures onto Instagram maybe, and
Yeah, I'll post the pictures on Instagram, and please feel free to comment. It's quite he looks pretty. And I am not down on men being feminine if they want, but I mean, this gives me little girl playing dress up.
yeah.
Not let's go to a fancy restaurant. Or anywhere for that matter. This is little kid.
Yeah,
this isn't anything but little kid.
Yeah.
It's an old man trying to or middle-aged man, not old because he's a year younger than me. A middle-aged man trying to reclaim his youth.
Yeah, as a little girl. Which is fine. Like I said, that's cool. And if, and maybe, I mean, if we found out that Sandoval was going to start to transition, would you be surprised?
No. I mean, no. I'm kind of surprised because I feel like he's more embraced of like fluidity.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, after Caitlyn Jenner, nothing surprises me because they had all those rumors going around, and I was like, what a bunch of bullshit. A guy can't grow his hair out without people think he's transgender. And then, I mean, the one time I didn't fall for tabloid nonsense, it turns out to be true. I couldn't have been more shocked. I don't know why. I think I was shocked because I chose to not believe it. But anyway, let's get back to the show.
Well, I just think that somewhere in California, there is a scene where that outfit is just a big hit. And I don't want to know where that scene is.
Didn't notice anybody else with.
Well, no, that's because he's hanging out with a bunch of Gen Z kids in a fucking club somewhere in downtown. A bunch of fucking, UCLA sorority girls.
Oh, yeah.
Just fucking...
That's true.
Taking a bunch of fucking Molly and, acting like he's fucking, 20.
He really should be carding, because if I learned anything from my days at ASU, those girls can make themselves look a lot older. I had a party at my house. I thought this girl was 20 and easy 23 to 26. No, 16. I was like, do your parents know you're here? Because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. I was like, what the fuck? If the cops show up, hide under my bed and do not come out until I tell you. Okay. So anyway, we're at Sheena and Brock's, and they clearly don't agree about anything. But this is where I because when Brock first came on the scene, everyone thought he was a kind of a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because he hadn't paid child support. He hadn't seen his
Mm-hmm.
children. They thought Sheena was a paycheck and he wanted to be on TV, blah, blah, blah. And this whole season I love Brock. He's so, happy, jolly. I love him. Still
Mm-hmm.
do. But this is where I kind of noticed, and excuse me, I have a frog in my throat or something. But it it kind of it kind of was a red flag to me because Brock was basically saying they having a nanny will help him figure out steps for the future. And in my mind, I was like, you need someone to take your kid so you can think about what you want to do in the future. And then I said out loud, I was like, get the nanny after you start working. Like, right?
I don't know, like, but I understand that, like, thinking, because sometimes I just look around and the house is a mess and the kids are sitting there and I think I can't even start to clean this fucking place up until these two are gone out of my hair.
Yeah, but your first thought isn't, I'm going to hire a full time nanny so I can just sit here and think about what I
Yeah.
should be doing.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't sound very ambitious.
No, it was weird. I don't know. Because, like, he didn't bring anything to the table, did he? Like, he's basically Sheena's personal assistant.
Yeah,
Like, why can't he be the nanny?
yeah, I guess. I mean, obviously they're not.
Because when everyone else was looking for nannies, when they all had them and they had babies, Brock was like, no, it's either going to be us or family members. We are not we're raising our child. Like, that was his firm. And so it kind of surprised me. But anyway.
Well, I think,
But Sheena asked him if he invited Tom to the beach day, and he says yes. And she said that, well, you gotta uninvite him after last night. And Brock says everyone is invited. And basically, I'm paraphrasing, but he says, if you can't control your emotions, don't come. And Sheena is so bitchy to him. Just like the way she talks to him. Don't you think? She seems fed up.
Well, yeah, but it's also because, he doesn't really, put up with her shit. If she's acting, childish, he fucking calls her on it.
Yeah, true.
And like even that whole thing when like she wanted him to lie to the kid about what they were doing, and he was just like, and he just went over and sat down and said, we're gonna go out, we're gonna go to the beach, and you're gonna be fine without us.
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was really healthy.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, that's what you tell your kids because that's what's true. You know what I mean? Like,
right, and it wasn't like he was tiptoeing around it or anything. He told Summer, nope, we're gonna go have, and she didn't have an issue. She didn't seem to anyway. I don't know. I don't know what she was doing, but she seemed pretty content. And was this all bonus content, or like, did James, Allie, Lisa, and Jacqueline sit down? Do you remember seeing that scene for dinner?
I want to say it was short if they did.
Oh, well, it was pretty, it was entertaining. because
Tell me what happened. It'll jog my memory.
okay, so James, Allie, and Lisa meet at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And then James's mom, Jacqueline, but I just call her Jack because it's easier to write. And so James kind of catches everyone up about the events from the night before, water. And he's like, and then Lala tells me to order pizza, and he gets stuck with $150 bill. and he sums it up perfectly. It was very weird, very uncomfortable. And then this coming from Jack. And I don't know if she's still sober, because she does look pretty good. Like, I thought she looked great in this scene, but never even thought of it. And I think you were almost there, but she questions, do you think Ariana is still in love with him? And Lisa kind of agrees. And I was going to ask, what do you think? Do you think that Ariana's holding on because she still feels a little bit of love for Tom? Like, she doesn't want to,
maybe,
because she knows if she moves out, she will never see him again.
Yeah, but I think maybe she is holding on to maybe some sort of feelings for Tom, and maybe there is even a possible way forward for them together, but not if Tom isn't sincerely, and Tom's out. That's the thing, right? And so I don't think that,
because both James and Allie thought that Ariana was in love with the house, not Tom. Like, they didn't think that she was.
Well, but the house included a whole dream. It was a whole,
Well, I think she loved decorating it. I think she loved, like, that was her first real big purchase, and it was like, it shows, like, I made it. I started as a bartender in this town, and now look, I was able to custom out this bitch,
Well, and that's
pimp my ride.
And that's, great and all, but I don't know if it's, like I said, the house had a whole dream attached to it,
Yeah, and like she said, it was for
and
what did she say it was for?
She's like, you broke it.
Yeah.
She's like, our future, kids, and she's like, you broke it. And then I think she would, at least there was a time maybe early on when she would have taken Tom back if Tom had actually come out and been like, sincerely, like, I fucked up, like, I so sorry.
I think she would have taken it back if it never became public. If none of us knew about it, I think they'd still be together. I do.
Yeah. But
she turned a blind eye to a lot of stuff.
But Tom didn't have that affair because he was in love with Rachel. Right. He had that affair because that was gonna be his safe parachute getting out of this relationship with Ariana. He was already done.
Okay, so anyway, out of the blue, Queen Allie, she really tells everything and my mouth drops and I write down, why the fuck is Allie telling Lisa that Katie fucked Max? she told Lisa and Jacqueline that Katie and Max fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
That's
didn't.
a big deal.
Yes, because Max worked for Lisa for years. And she was shocked. Like, because she said that, because she's, yeah, it's because she didn't think that Katie was the type to do a revenge, shag or whatever. But it was so funny. Lisa, here's another quote. Lisa says, "That is not cool." And James cracks up. But Lisa asks how they found out, and Allie says Sheena has a thing on her phone that tracks people. And here is where I am so happy that Lisa was there, because she says exactly what I was thinking last week. She and James do. So here we go. And that tracks people's location. And Lisa assumed that she tracked Katie. And they said, no, she tracked Max. Lisa goes, let me get this straight. She got married, had a baby, and is still tracking the man she was shagging before she met Brock. Thank you, Lisa and James, because James said he would be pissed too. Like, when is Brock gonna get pissed that she was tracking Max's location? She used to fuck Max.
I didn't know that. This is
new information. I told you that. I told you that last week in the season, that when they brought the new people on, Max Boehm was on there, and that was one of the guys that remember the cringe video? That was one of the bartenders she went after, and then the other one was Max. But it was so fun. Yeah, she's still tracking. So yeah, and James goes, I would be so pissed, and I would be too. Like, if you were still tracking somebody
if you were able to tell me where your ex-husband was at right now, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah, so do you understand why I guess maybe I didn't know that you weren't aware. Okay, so yeah, so now do you think it's a little more weird that she was tracking Max and Katie?
Yeah, I just thought they were friends. I didn't know she was tracking, like, her ex-boyfriend.
Well, there was never a label. Right. They were friends with benefits. But, yeah, and so it's so fun. What was so funny was Jack goes, she says, wait. And she looks at the whole table. She's like, are you Team Katie with the banging? And Allie happily nods her head and says, yeah. And Jack goes, so am I. And Lisa thinks it's fat. And Lisa is just gobsmacked and still fascinated about the whole Max tracking. And she's like, does she have my location? And James and Allie are like, probably. And she goes, does she track me? And they're like, yeah, if she has your location. But that was a good scene, and I don't know why they cut it out of the regular one. And so I was kind of,
because that was going to be one of my comments. It's like, I don't think we got any Lisa in this episode.
Oh no, but
they cut out Lisa, and they cut out the Anne, pretty much the Anne arc.
Oh yeah, because Anne is brought up a lot. But after the scene with Lisa, we go to Tom and Ariana's again, and you have Lucinda the decorator, and she comes over to help Ariana price things so she can send to the attorney and wait for Tom to explode. And that's all I have. And ... thoughts?
Well, she's sending him a counter offer. She's like, I'm not just gonna leave you with the furniture, which I guess
I would
is
like to see the like offer, you know.
yeah. I can't imagine that kind of throwing around that kind of money for custom furniture and all that kind of shit. Like,
Can you imagine being these two's attorney, having to listen to them fight? I think Ariana's being pretty cool
oh,
though.
if you're
She's
a
like, I
divorce,
don't want this little shit. I don't want that. I don't.
I'm guessing if you're a divorce lawyer in Los Angeles, there's very little you haven't seen.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure they've seen it. I'm just like, who would want to deal with it? But anyway, after that, money, yeah, for the hourly rate. But it's basically beach day, and setup looks like a bitch. And James makes that
Going to the
comment. That's why I
yeah,
have a pool.
yeah. I felt James on that. Like, basically, that's why when I did live near the ocean, I just moved closer to the ocean
Yeah, right
because
out your front door.
I'm just like I don't want to be dragging all my shit across, and it sucks, man. Dragging coolers across the sand sucks, and just the parking lots are yeah. James knows. Like I get it, bro. I feel you. It's like I could
Mm-hmm.
do without it.
But then they talk more about Anne, and they say that um, she's going to work for the girls because they need help with something about her. So I don't know where she works. And it's so funny because they ask if Tom's coming, and Ariana goes or says that he's coming, and they're like, "How do you know?" And she said, "Because I saw his crocheted stripy thing in the dryer, and here he comes walking up with like a striped crochet." Oh, that was funny. They're just, she is very petty. I have never seen her this.
Well, I would. I think I would be too because, like I said, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't even know the guy, and if I was in the same room with him, I would want to punch him in the face.
Oh, come on. Oh, you, just because you know what you know.
No, I can't see any world where a guy like myself and a guy like Tom Sandoval would be hanging out.
Well, no, but you wouldn't punch it. You might, maybe you'd want to. But James draws a literal line in the sand.
I wanted to punch Tom Sandoval in the face just hearing his voice from a different room while I was deep into studying about how to be inclusive in a classroom and kind of all this other stuff and how to really open myself up to my students and make relationships, and I can listen to that piece of shit and go, not that fucking guy.
As someone who hates her voice, I really can't even rip on his. But anyway, Tom and Tom are talking about singles night, and I think it's kind of tacky for them to be talking about it in front of Ariana and Katie. And I'm just like, do you want to fight?
I mean,
Do
yeah,
you want to fucking fight? Like,
pretty
really?
much that was the
Because
whole
it's
point.
definitely an earshot.
Yeah, I mean that was. I mean, why else would you? I think, but I mean, I think he was pissed off about what she had said to T. So,
Well, yeah.
I think there was a little bit of kind of, payback for that, right? So I'm just gonna, and
But
that might,
again, you had a flirty
and that,
moment between Tom and
well,
Katie when he asked to be her date.
well, and no, and actually, now that I think about it, that's probably the reason for Tom's little comment about maybe younger, right? Because
She's 25. Yeah.
but just because Ariana had said that shit to T. Oh, figures you're so young.
Oh,
Don't hang out with a 41-year-old narcissist, right? And
it
then
was a
so it was a
jab.
jab at Ariana.
Oh, good call. Good
Mm.
call.
So maybe it's not as
Because, yeah, he did have
creepy
that.
as I think it was kind of a more, yeah, it was a jab. Now that I kind of break it down, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of what's going on there.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, still, I mean, it's still a shitty thing to say. It's just, but that's what I mean. Like when you're pissed off, you say shitty things to people
Yeah.
that you don't necessarily mean.
But one of the things that I was like, oh my God, again, Tom Sandoval's side. But I think you will be too. Okay, so the Twizzler Shiz and Sheena Shiz and Sheena
Shiz
make
and
out.
Sheena.
Yep, Shiz and Sheena make out gets brought up, and she basically says it was kind of a makeout. She says everyone is just flirty, and she says we've been flirty and Tom Sandoval, he says it's more like, or he basically tells her he feels like he's been the recipient of flirtation.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of flies off the hand, or she's freaked out by that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so true. She's always going up and flirting with everyone. And then Brock gets a little upset and says, "Is that what you said to Rachel or Raquel?" Because I guess they're
Mm-hmm.
still calling her Raquel at the same time. And then Ariana gets really pissed and says, "This discussion is disgusting. Can you go talk about it somewhere else?"
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it was, but I mean, it's like, fuck you, buddy. And yeah, like, but is this when Sheena kind of had to go back and retract her statement and was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like he assaulted me or anything, because because I think the blowback from her fucking saying, trying to absolve herself of any sort of responsibility for this made Schwartz look like a fucking, predator. And so, she had to walk that back. So, okay, all right, he wasn't a predator. Okay, now what was your role again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but
I know.
But we're all flirty with each other.
And I'm just, hypocrisy. But, Katie, and I don't know, I don't remember this from the first watching, but, Katie asked Tom if he fired Anne, and he's backpedaling and saying no,
just send her home for a few days.
Flashback to him telling Chan and Shiz, Kyle Chan and Shiz, he hired some guy named Craig, and that was like 2 nights before. But he swears to the group he didn't fire Anne yet. And then Sheena has to chime in, telling him he needs to fire her or tell her to her face. And I think she's still just butthurt because he told her he wasn't flirting with her. He was just responding to her flirting with him. She was so pissed. It's hilarious. But, yeah, he keeps talking about this Craig guy. I don't know who Craig is. But anyway, Katie tells him that
Craig's the guy that's going to clean his underwear.
The new guy. Anyway, Katie says that she needs help, and he's such a dick because he did fire her pretty much if he's already hired this Craig guy.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as Katie says that, He's like, wait, before you start taking my people, there are protocols. And Katie's like, protocols? What are you talking about? And he's like, HR. And Ariana, in her confessional, she's like, he doesn't have an HR department. And if he did, he'd be fucked.
He'd be fired.
Yeah. But Tom doesn't agree and about anything. Like, because Kate, I don't know. Basically, Katie's telling him, or, she's kind of being nice and she's being real calm and nice to him, but just saying, hey, if you're not going to be. And so this must be bonus content because you didn't get yeah, it's a lot of Anne with the bonus, but it was well deserved. But, yeah. And then whenever Ariana gets super triggered by Tom's voice or presence or whatever, she just starts saying the same phrase over and over again. And she just says, stop speaking to me. Stop speaking to me. Stop. And I'm just thinking, God, this sucks.
Well, and I think that's why I've been saying it all along. Like, the show can't, one of them's got to go. You know what I mean? Like, or they just can't intersect. It's I don't want to see it.
Well, no, and that's why I am thinking I am so happy that this whole episode was so Tom and Ariana back and forth talking like heavy, because hopefully it's the last time, other than maybe the finale, that they're pushed together. But I mean, it's just so fucking crazy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, the show will benefit from, but then again, we got to go back to the beach, I'm guessing, because we're to be continued, right?
Well, no, but there's still more.
Well, no, but I'm just.
Oh, because it said.
But then again, anyways, we'll get to that because I'm pretty sure Tom's gone, right? So.
Yeah, but then Lala shows up, and Ariana says, I don't know. Oh yeah, she was so pissed and says that Tom was talking shit and none of you guys put him in check, and it pisses me off. And she's mad at the guys because she says that he's misogynistic and men are the only ones that he will listen to. And I'm like, it's like,
but it's like what you want them to do, like,
yeah,
like
exactly.
And then that's the thing, because I don't think what Ariana doesn't understand is everybody is kind of looking at this going, this needs to happen one way or another. You guys have to talk to each other so you can move on.
Yeah, and then like in the middle of that rant, because she was like really going after the guys, and then Lala says, I don't even know what Lala says, and Ariana tells her to shut the fuck up and stop playing devil's advocate. The devil has enough advocates. I was like, I know not much time has passed, but there is absolutely no reason for her to be speaking like that to her friends or anyone.
I think.
What if someone's just started talking to you like that?
I would think that they weren't. Well, I would think that they were pissed off. You know, like
I was extremely uncomfortable, and I only watched the few minutes they cut and stitched together that they showed us. Can you imagine being there for these two's full on fights, both of their fights? Because who knows how long each one of them lasted.
yeah, I don't know. I remember.
Oh, yeah, and I was
I
going to
remember.
ask you what I wanted, because she says that he kept throwing jabs at her, and I don't know, I might have missed it, but what exactly was he saying? What did set her off? Like, what was it that made her start screaming? Because I don't remember.
Was he?
Because I
Yeah.
don't think he was.
No, I don't think he was. But I mean, they were. I think Brock's comment didn't help.
No.
No, you know what I mean? And like, just, and I don't, like I said, it doesn't matter. Just the fact that he was there.
Yeah, but I mean, she went nuclear. But I think
I've
she was
hated somebody
mad
that much
at.
before.
You know what I think it was, though, too?
Hmm.
She was mad at the. And she even said so much. She was mad at the group pushing them together. She's like, if you want to push us together, this is what's going to happen.
But you know
basically.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's childish. I know exactly how she feels.
Really?
I think you do too.
Yeah, I guess I'm just so far removed.
Because nobody's trying to push us into situations we don't want to be in. But if they were,
yeah,
you know, like if all of a sudden, you know, we were to go for a holiday to visit family, and all of a sudden we were told that certain people would be there, I would fucking kill everybody there. You're all in on it. You're all fucking in on it. Fuck all y'all. Kids, get in the fucking car. We're going home.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I understand how Ariana feels.
Oh my god. Wow. You just totally, yes.
You know, like, I mean, I gotta weigh this shit against like where
our situation.
Yeah.
Which is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I mean, in a different way, but yeah, it would. Yeah. Because she doesn't want to have to stop hanging out with her friends. And by her taking a stand against this very toxic person in her life, she's the bad guy. We took a stand against toxic people in our lives, and now we're the bad guy, and we don't get to hang out with the people we love. Well, we do, but we always have to find out if the other party is gonna be. We have a middleman.
Yeah, we have an Ann.
We have an Ann.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
You know, it kind of shines a whole different light on the situation. You know, so if you're out there and you guys got people who, you know, toxic people in your life, you just cannot be around. And if somebody in your circle tried to kind of trick you or cajole you into being around them,
no, you don't have to be, and you're not the bad. We love you, Ariana.
Ariana, you are not the bad guy. Tom is a piece of shit.
my viewpoint.
And nobody,
not that I
and
was on
nobody,
his side,
yeah,
but yeah.
but no, nobody owes Tom a fucking thing. And all
No.
those people that are acting like they owe him something don't owe him a goddamn thing.
Nope. He did it.
Yeah.
He did it, and he covered it up for 8 or 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. What? Wow. I am seeing a lot of parallels, but like not an affair. It's so weird to be able to. Oh my gosh, I'm saying this with a smile on my face as my heart is breaking. So I don't want the audience to think that I am making light of our situation. It's just what happens when Jesse becomes uncomfortable. But anyway, I just don't know why they put to be continued at the end of it.
Because they're probably going to pick back up at the beach, I guess.
I wonder why. I think I was just kind of hoping that, I mean, I know that there'll be no resolution between Tom and Ariana, but at least with the friend group being like, and I wish you could be there and like give them this example, and then they would be like, ding ding ding, because like here we are in real time, Jesse, ding ding ding. But I have to be reminded, and but I'm just going based off of what I'm seeing. But yeah, it's just I'm happy that Ariana's life has not been better since, since she's gone through her healing phase.
Well, and so I'm glad. Yeah.
No, not material things. I just mean she has a beautiful new home. She has a stint on Broadway. Now she's going to be hosting Love Island or Temptation Island, one of those dating shows, $1 million contract, which is great. She has a boyfriend in New York who they seem to care about each other. They have fun together at the very least. And her life is just getting better and better. And I don't know if it would have had, and I'm not saying that she didn't go through pain with the affair, but I think it's the biggest favor Tom Sandoval ever did for her. Was give her a reason to leave.
This is all she ever would have got to be.
Was Tom Sandoval's chick.
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah. So anyway, that was episode 11.
10.
10?
10, woo!
Woo! Next week, 11, season 11, episode 11.
Ooh, that's wild.
Yeah. That's wild. So I hope y'all tune in next week. Yeah. We didn't get a preview because they said to be continued, but I'm sure there's a preview that will be coming out. But anyway, please
like and subscribe.
Tell a friend.
And
have a good one. We love you.
Peace.
Bye.